All right. Right now, I'm joined by Andrew, aka Sola Rosa. Morena to you.
Morena.
Right. The deluxe edition of Chasing the Sun is out now. They say things get better with age, Andrew, and I agree. You know that if we're talking, I agree with that. If we're talking about things like music, I mean, if we were talking about foodstuffs, probably not, unless it's cheese. But Sola Rosa is a prime example, really. You've been chasing the sun for 22 years now, and you've finally caught it with the release of this record late last year. How do you feel about the album, or early last year, I should say? How do you feel about the album now that a year and a half has passed since its release?
Yeah, well, no, it actually came out, was it September last year? So
Was it?
yeah,
I thought I had an
think so.
interview with you in February.
Well, it might have been relating to, because there were singles that came out prior to that.
Well, that would be the last time we chatted. Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, now I lost what was the initial question?
Well, how do you feel looking back on the record now? Well, you know, a year since its release.
Well, I was really proud of that record. Well, I am proud of that record. I mean, it was kind of a reaction to the previous record, which was, wasn't at a great place in my life and was kind of not making the best decisions and sort of really rushed that album. I mean, we wanted to try this. I'm talking about Magnetics. We wanted to try some different things. We wanted to try and make an album just as a band and not bring in not collaborate with all these external artists and, you know, players, and which was cool. You know, it was good to make and try that. But you know, I kind of, after making that album, I realized that I'm a real collaborator. I like to work with lots of different people, and I'm kind of, you know, you got to acknowledge what you're good at and what you're not good at, and yeah, I'm not good at a whole bunch of things when it comes to, you know, like guitar and keys, and I can play a little bit of everything, but I'm not that great at it. So and plus I just like to be with people. You know, it's that they bring, you know, so much to the room when they come. Yeah, with Chasing the Sun, I just was like, okay, I'm just going to collaborate with as many people as possible, and work with a bunch of people I've worked with before, work with people I haven't worked with. I just wanted to sort of, yeah, I've mentioned this before in interviews, but I just kind of wanted to work with as many hot cats as I could and see what came out of it. And it took me 5 years to make it. And I was like, right, I'm not going to make a dud track. I want to be proud of every track. I want to be able to play it, you know, in 10 years, 20 years time and still like it. And so that's what I did. And then once it's out in the world, it's whatever, you know, it's like, whatever people think of it, But I know that for me, that I really worked it and really kind of, yeah, got to a place where I was 100% happy. And so, yeah.
So 1 year on, you could put it on right now and be stoked.
Yeah, well, I still have to listen to it because, you know, you as an artist, you end up having to do, like at the moment, I've been going through this mundane process of, you know, on Instagram stories where lyrics come up.
Yeah.
That stuff. That's what I'm doing at the moment. So I have to listen to every song of mine and go through and listen to all the lyrics and type them in. And so, yeah, you end up having to listen to it over and over and over. And yeah, I mean, I'm at a point now where the honeymoon's over, as far as, you know, you're not in that magical place when you're making music and you're like, oh, I love this tune. And then eventually that kind of plateaus, and then, you know, it just becomes music to you. It's not, you know. But yeah, I still like them. Yeah, I'm not cringing at any of those songs, so that's a good place to be.
That is a good place to be. Would you, with having said what you just said, would you almost consider yourself more of a composer and a conductor than anything else? No.
No. No, I'm definitely more of a producer. Yeah, I'm more of a producer than a player. Yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. With the deluxe editions comes remixes. How do you go around arranging that? I mean, do you get a whole bunch of people and then they send you in their tunes and you just select what you want, or do you just deliberately go after particular artists? Say, the ones that are on here, are they the only ones you went for?
No.
How did it work?
No, I kind of just I contacted a bunch of people whose music I really like. Some that I've liked for a long time, and some that I've only just discovered. And some of them say yes, and some of them say no. Sometimes it comes down to, like, maybe you can only afford to pay them so much, or give them a certain deal, and they're not they want more.
Mm-hmm.
I contacted some people I follow on social media and whatnot, that are obviously sort of kind of hot right now, and you just never hear back from them, or you have a polite sort of no. But yeah, I'm happy with what we got with. Got some great remixes in the end. So
you got some incredible remixes.
I didn't want to do like a whole remix album or anything like that. I just wanted to tag on some remixes. So yeah.
Now, for me, my favorite track on the deluxe edition, of the ones that have been remixed or live, is the one with High Hoops. Something great. I've got a lot of respect for Jordan. He's made some incredible music over the years. And it's funny because quite often when I'm compiling if I'm compiling a playlist for the day, I'll grab a Sola Rosa track, and even for all these years, for some reason I've gravitated towards a High Hoops track, and somewhere in the playlist as well on the same day. I don't know what it is, but for me,
that's my favorite track too.
Yeah.
Funnily enough, I mean, I'd heard the name High Hoops, but I hadn't heard his music. I'd been listening to Leisure longer than I had been listening to High Hoops. I didn't even know he was in the band until fairly recently. And then I kind of discovered his catalog, and yeah, we're kind of mates now. He was really great to work with.
Yeah,
great guy.
No doubt. Now, whenever I talk to you, Andrew, we always talk about you collaborators and who's doing vocals and what parts on the records, but I don't think we've really talked about the band before. So especially with the live versions on RNZ on this record, I think it's a good time to talk about the band, because some of them have been with you for quite a while, right?
Yeah, we've had a few lineup changes, but there's the sort of core band has been the same for quite a while. The newest addition would probably be Peter Laupolu on keys, and he's been with us now for, I don't know, I've lost count. Maybe it's like 5 years or something. 4 or 5 years. Yeah.
How important are the band to what you do?
Really important. Yeah. I mean, the band are the guys that sort of come in and collaborate with me on all the initial. So I just kind of make a beat and then flesh it out as much as I can, and then bring members of the band in to collaborate with. And I'll also bring in other guitarists and other keyboard players and stuff, but they're the first guys to sort of come in. And yeah, I still love performing. Obviously not doing a lot of that at the moment.
No.
We kind of did a lot of smaller sound system shows for a while there, because that's how I toured overseas. And generally, we did take the band over a couple of times, but sort of make a 3-piece version of it, was just me and 2 singers. But I've kind of stopped doing that now, because it got to the point where I just realized I much prefer performing with the whole band. It's got, on so many levels, it's better.
Yeah. And it sounds really good. Those live RNZ tracks are fantastic. From, I think, was it on Music 101?
Yeah. Yeah, we were pretty anxious about that one, because we hadn't performed together, I think it was for like 9 months or something, and because I'd been making the album, and it was all about that. And so not only did we have our first performance in 9 months, but we had to learn the new songs, because you make the album, but you don't come out of it knowing the songs as a band. They basically had to learn all the material. And perform them. So yeah, considering it was our first performance in 9 months, and we'd never played those songs before, yeah, we pulled it off.
You did. You really did. I mean, I've loved all of your albums since the first one all the way through, and and they've always been quite successful, and they've always garnered quite good critical acclaim, and this album is a shining example of that. In fact, I think it's probably your highest rating album in terms of the critical response that I've read. So that must be a good feeling, to the fact that you've got this far in your career, like 22 years, and people are thinking you're doing the best work you've ever done.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely been some ups and downs. There's definitely been some albums better than others, and that's just a natural process. But yeah, it was a pretty funny time to put out an album. 2020. It was like we had massive plans. There was all sorts of international touring stuff being planned. There was New Zealand tour being planned, and but yeah, it just all kind of went south, but it's still got really great reviews, really great critical acclaim, but yeah, a very wonky time to put out an album.
So why not put the remix album out, the deluxe edition out, pretty much the same kind of atmosphere?
Yeah, well, this is the thing. I sort of put my album out last year, and smack bang in the middle of COVID, and then funnily enough, I put this deluxe edition out at the same, going through the same process with Delta. So it's just like,
you can't wait.
What are you going to do? I'm grateful that I can at least stay in my studio and make music and stuff. If it wasn't for that, I'd be losing my mind, I think.
Yeah.
If I didn't have that. Makes it tricky to collaborate with people, but at the moment I'm just in the process of kind of wrapping up Chasing the Sun, and starting to work on new material and starting to produce other people as well. So that's exciting.
Do you think it's going to be another 5-year wait for the next record?
Well, funnily enough, in the first lockdown of 2020, I did this real geeky thing of I had multiple hard drives with all this music on it, and I organized it all. And I found stuff that I thought I'd lost, and I also got all my unreleased material and put it into a spreadsheet, and went back and listened to every single, this is like, I think there was 60 something session folders, listened to every beat or whatever, and put it into the spreadsheet and gave it a rating, and all of that stuff. And I've been going back and working on every single one of them, like with the good ones, starting with the good ones.
Yeah.
Some of them are just rubbish. But yeah, I was reading a Questlove book, and he was like, don't chuck away any of your old material. Keep it, always keep it, come back to it every once in a while. So I've been doing that, and I think I've got something, in the vicinity of 20 to 30 new beats that I've kind of bounced down. And so hopefully, it won't take as long, but with COVID, it's tricky to collaborate, so we'll see what happens. But like I say, my focus now is kind of shifting. I like the idea of collaborating, producing other people. So yeah, that's something I'm starting to get into, and I can see myself doing more of. I don't think I'll stop doing Sola Rosa, but it's not my only focus.
That's cool. Are you working with, can you say any names that you're working with at the moment?
Not at the moment, unfortunately.
Yeah, fair enough. Oh, well, fair enough. I understand.
I'd love to, but
I had to ask.
It's exciting.
Well, I can imagine it's exciting, and it's a new avenue, I guess. I mean, it's not like you haven't done it before, but I guess you haven't done it on a big level. So if you're doing a few projects on the go at once.
Yeah, well, I'm getting old now, and like, I got to a point with the Chasing the Sun album was because I'm self-managed. I do everything, So
Yeah.
I mean, I had a team of people working with me, but I had a label in the UK and support here, and there's all sorts of people kind of working with me, but I'm overseeing everything. And I got to the point where I was like, man, this is full on. It's really hard work. So producing other people, your job is to sort of be creative and come up with something together, and then it's their job and their management's job or their team or whatever to go out and do all that hard graft.
You found the
so
secret.
I like that idea. I like the idea of having more time to just be creative, because over the last year I haven't had a lot of time. It's just been it's just all chasing the sun, kind of, behind the scenes stuff, admin and social media and all that.
Continuously chasing something.
Yeah.
If not the sun, it's something else. So the deluxe version, it's online now. It's available on all good sites. I highly recommend Bandcamp, as always.
Yeah.
yeah. So head off to Bandcamp, purchase it.
We've got to just interject. We've got pretty special vinyl package, double vinyl package. I think there's still a few of the gold ones left. Press some gold ones up, but they're getting pretty low in the stocks. But yeah, so if people are into vinyl, that's on Bandcamp.
Yeah, that's on Bandcamp, and those ones are on the Bandcamp page for just Chasing the Sun, I believe, not on the deluxe page. So you can check them out there. Yeah. Andrew, always a pleasure.
Likewise, mate.
Yeah. Thank you so much for taking the time to speak to us. Fantastic. Like I said, I'm really enjoying the remixes and the live versions. I'm big on Diz One, so I really like that, and the high hoops and everything else. So I'm glad they got back to you. Fantastic. And also, of course, there's an instrumental version online as well. You can check that out too, and the original also. Andrew, thank you so much for taking the time.
Thank you, bro.
Have yourself a good one.
Yeah, you too. Thanks.
Cheers.